Hi, everybody, and welcome to this second session of our community lives. So what's new in the July release is what we're going to be going through here today. And the agenda for today is as following. So I'm going to be showing, together with Morten, I'm going to be showing new stuff in Attain. And the first thing we're going to be focusing on is the performance that's been improved. Secondly, we're going to be going through the upgrade functionality in ClickLearn. And of course, also going through the new and approved Inside Help functionality. After that, I'm going to be showing you automatic process testing. It's an improved graphic view in there, and I'm going to show that. Then we're going to show how to import books and shelves as well. So if you have already existing ClickLearn Classic projects, you can import them directly into Attain. At the end, we're also going to be focusing a little bit on the Android translation, just to make sure that everybody knows that it's out there, and that's going to be all that we're going to be going through here today. So together with me here today, I also have my dear colleague Morten. Morten, I think we need to go over to you and have a look at the new functionalities and the performance that's been improved.
Hi guys, my name is Morten, and I will talk to you briefly about the performance improvements in Attain. We have upgraded to .NET 4.8. That means that we have increased support for DPI scaling, and there are performance improvements on the networking side. So ClickLearn Attain will be more snappy and faster. So that's going to be really nice. So some of the new features we've included as well is the ability to upgrade an entire project. So here you see I have an IFS 9 project, and I can of course upgrade a single file, or I can choose to upgrade the whole thing, which I'm going to do now. I'm going to click on upgrade entire project, and that will then give me two different options. It will give me the option to upgrade the entire project and replace everything that was. The cool thing about the upgrading is that it will keep the structure I have up here. So if I have like a structure with some subsections of how I organized all my work instructions, stuff like that, it's going to keep that throughout everything. So that's really nice. You can also do an upgrade where you keep both versions. So you'll have both the old and the new. I am going to replace them, and I will upgrade to IFS 10. And let's go. So it will spin a little bit. What it will do is that inside every single recording for every single step, there is the appropriate technical command that is used to execute that action in IFS 9. And what ClickLearn then does is that it replaces all the known commands that we have and replace them with known commands for IFS 10, so that when you run the replay, it's going to ask me to do that now, or not. When you do run the replay now, then it will know what to do in IFS 10 because it will have replaced the command. So the replay is useful when you do your system upgrade from 9 to 10, for example. So yeah, that's it. Also in the structure, let's go have a look at that. In the structure itself, you'll also see that my very nice portal here in the folders, it will now have replaced them with the new versions. So all that is left for me really is to complete the replay of my recordings, and then my entire portal is ready for deployment for the new help portal for IFS, right? So everyone's on board. Another highly requested feature is the ability to create Inside Help projects with ClickLearn Attain, and this is now possible. So when you click on a new project, you now have the ability to choose Inside Help. So to just briefly explain what Inside Help is, it is intended for Dynamics customer engagement and for Dynamics Business Central at the moment. And what it does is that you connect to your CRM or customer engagement, and you will then read all your metadata and all your all the different fields and all the different entities and forms that you have in your CRM it will then cross-reference those to all the recordings that you have, so all the work instructions you have from ClickLearn. And what will then happen is that whenever you then bring up help, it will now be a field contextual help. So let's say you're on the account form and you bring up the help. It will then show you help for every single field on that specific form. So it will tell you about like what's the account name mean, what's the account address, what's expected to be entered there, stuff like that. And it will also cross-reference and show you all the relevant work instructions, meaning the work instructions that have any steps that are part of that form. So any recording you've done where you click on one of the fields on that specific form will then be brought up as a relevant work instruction for that specific screen you're on. So it's a super powerful way to ensure user adoption and to ensure that people are engaging with the content, because the content is basically baked into the user interface with a button you click, and it will then bring up various work instructions that are relevant for you. So it's a super powerful add-on to your knowledge portal for sure, definitely. Cool. Well, thank you very much, and over to you, Lars.
Thank you, Morten. That sounds really great. So what I'm going to be focusing on now is the new capabilities that you have in the automatic process testing. So as you see here, it's become its own project type, so I can start up creating an automated process testing project in here, and in there I can be working with all the different test scenarios that I want to. I have already created a automatic process testing a demo project here, so I'm gonna go in there and show you the test that I've already created. So I'm gonna double click the test, and as you see over here, I can add all the recordings I need, and I can add all the different tests that I want to be going through. There's assets and team and so on I can set up in here as well. So this is the new view of the scenarios that I can set up in APT. So here you can see I have added a recording, I've added a screenshot, I've added a fork, I've added a lot of stuff into this structure over here. And notice how visually appealing this is in comparison to what we had before. Here I've added a recording simply by dragging and dropping, so it's just a matter of taking any of these elements that I have over here, grab them, drag and drop into the structure over here. And here I can select any of the recordings that I've added into my project. And of course, for this project, like any other projects, I can add recordings from other projects as well. So recordings that might have been created to use for documentation purposes, I could also use those recordings. So I don't need to go and create my own recordings. If we look into this specific recording, it's a very short recording, just with a couple of steps in there, never mind that. But what I've also done here is that I've added a screenshot. So simply by dragging and dropping from the elements or the injections that I can use over here, I can add a screenshot in here. Once I add a screenshot in here, that will enable me to record the full screen at any given point in time. So once I add the full screenshot, it will record everything, all the forms that are in that specific screenshots are going to be added. The complete form, any button, any fields will be added as well. This will enable me to control the data that I want to be using from that specific screenshot. So never mind what data has been selected through the process that we're going through, I will still be able to add my own data in there for testing purposes. As you see here, I've added a fork also simply just by dragging and dropping into that area. So simply take that and drag and drop it somewhere where I want to over here. Then I'll have that forking capability, so that branching capability inserted up there as well. Let's have a look at this branching. So I put in a condition And the condition is something that's been captured from the screenshot before, so the extra screenshot I've added, and I want to have a look at the number of employees. They need to be larger or equal to 7,000 in this case. I can set up these different conditions in here. Once that's set up, I will define if it's true, you need to go this way. If it's false, then the process can go this way and the process will end in this case. If it's true, I've also added a variable over here. So if I want to collect any variables, so if I just click on edit, you can see I've added phone number in here. I want to collect the phone number from that as well and add that to another legacy app. In this way, you can put together multiple applications or multiple processes. You can add whatever branching you need to in here, and in that way do end-to-end process testing. So that's what it looks like. A lot easier to work with than what you probably know from ClickLearn Classic. Okay, so let's shut this one down and go on to the next point for today. And the next thing I want to be focusing on here is importing an already existing ClickLearn Classic learning portal into a project in here. So I have my project import project demo over here. That's my other project where I would like to add an already existing learning portal in here. And the way to do that is going below settings, and down here, if I scroll a little bit down, you can see I have here, it says import from ClickLearn Classic. So I'll click import, and I can choose to either import the recordings or the book and shelves in there. I'm going to start by importing the recordings. So I'm going to select those, and it will take me to the folder where I already have been once. And I'm going to open these recordings. I can select them. Yes, please. I can add them into the recordings folder. I can also add if there are any assets in there. I can choose where to have these assets added. So now import, and now they're going to be added into my project. I need to do this once more. So import it. Choose to import my shelf, which will also include the books. So I'm going to add that. And as you see here, it's going to come up with my different books. Select all of those. Select and import. So now I've imported both my recordings and my structure, basically. So if I look into the recordings list, you will notice that I have my two recordings in there. And if I look into the structure, you will also notice that I have my book and shelf structure in there as well. So basically the full picture here is my shelf, and I have all my books added in there as well. So if you have other learning portals already created with ClickLearn Studio, you can add them into your Attain projects as well. So the next thing I want to look at here is my multi-language project here. And what I want to focus on here is the localization. So I'm going to go to localization, and here you can see we have the end of our translation services available. So if you need your projects translated, you can request a quote for getting this translated. Let's get started, and it's going to ask me how much do I actually want to have translated. And once I select what I need in here, click next. It's going to, of course, full translation, click next. It's going to give me the quote for the translation afterwards. So I'm going to receive a quote so I can see the exact amount, what's going to be, what the costs are, and in that way I can decide, do I want to use this functionality or not? But this is professional translation. If we compare this to the auto translator we had before, that was just a machine translation. So this is going to be a lot better quality. So that's what we had for you here today. Next up on Community Lives is setting up your template in Attain, and it's going to be the 25th of August at 3 p.m. Central European Time. Please go into YouTube or into our community and subscribe to the session and have a look at how this works as well. Left for me to say thank you all for attending. Thank you, Morten. It's been a pleasure to have you here once again, and hope to see you soon again, at least on the 25th of August. Have a good day, everybody. Bye.